Welcome to Lime Rock here in the Doublemint Cup series. It's been quite a while yet again. Apologies for the hiatus, but we are here at the round of Lime Rock Motorsports Park, a 1.53 mile racetrack, very narrow track, so mistakes are going to be common here. Now, Tommy Turbo, one of our playoff contenders on the pole, he comes into this race actually underneath the cut line, 6 points down. So he's going to actually try and make his way forward, while everybody else, though, they're going to be in hot pursuit here. A lot of the non-playoff drivers, they're going to play spoiler, while everybody else, though, still in the playoffs, are looking forward to potentially steal themselves in or really get some great points in order for the next round. So, pace car is off on the track. Tommy Turbo leads the field down. Bill Gunther on his outside. And we're about to go green in just a bit. And there it is. Green flag is out in the air. We're racing. Into turn number 1, they're going to go, and through turn 2, basically through the left-hander, and coming towards the S is Bill Gunther, willing to give a fight on Tommy Turbo. Turbo able to get his ground ahead of that 34, and he's going to hold on to the race lead while William Brock and everybody else roar down the no-name straight for the first time today. Tommy Turbo in command, but here they come towards the uphill sector, and everybody just so far keeping their car clean at the moment. Couple cars kind of hitting that dirt early on, but Tommy Turbo in command of the lead. William Brock, though, sitting in second. Bill Gunther has to file back to third. Hernandez fourth, and Jeffrey Fingai rounding out your top 5 as they round the final stretch. And into turn 1 they go to conclude the first lap of the event. Tommy Turbo now leading that lap, trying to get that bonus point in for that 95 team. They are 6 points right now, and a win for them would basically clinch them into the next round without much of an issue. William Brock, though, comfortable in second. He's been looking for a win as well. And you see Turbo going wide. That's going to give Brock a little bit of space there. And maybe to see if he can close into the gap of Tommy Turbo. But Luis Hernandez putting the attack on Bill Gunther. Gunther kind of slipping a bit off the corner. And here comes Hernandez looking on the right-hand side, trying to take a spot. Has to back off the gas. And Bill Gunther able to yield to third. But looking at everybody else, looks like Angel Navarro has lost pace just a tad. Johnny Gardner not running too well. He's near the back half of the field. He is 1 point to the good at the moment. That's not a good sign for him. Crash right in front of him. That is Jesse Turner and Annie Thomas that have crashed off the final corner. And that's going to bring out the first yellow flag of the day. Ian Dutta looks like he's got a lot of front-end damage to his machine, the Alpha Solutions machine. As we're going to take a look at the replay, Tommy Turbo looks like actually these guys are going to be racing themselves back towards the line because William Brock now on the attack. He's making a move to the inside, looking to spoil the party. William Brock hungry for a win as Turbo slips off the corner. Here comes car number 7 for Tommy Baldwin Racing. And here they come through West Bend, and under the bridge they go. It's William Brock now in command of the race lead as they round the diving turn and to the main straight. It's going to be William Brock that's going to lead us to the caution flag for the very first time today. It looked like Nick Gunther was hot on Annie Thomas's heels. Not much of an angle you can really see, but it looked like they just touched, and Thomas got turned off the bumper of Gunther. And the 23, look at the air she got, and then lands on all fours. Look at hard impact really to the ground. That basically kills the floor to that Gen 6 race car. And Annie Thomas trying to get the car back going, trying to bring it down pit lane. Looks like might have miscalculated the trajectory of that car. Slid up the track, hit the wall, and right into the path of poor Jesse Turner and Ian Dutta, taking her and that 17 car out of the running, and Ian Dutta having to come down to pit lane to repair the damage. Pace car lights are out. William Brock leads the way here at Lime Rock with Tommy Turbo second, Hernandez in third, And then you have Bill Gunther and Jeffrey Fingai rounding out your top 5. A lot of the cars basically unchanged since the drop of the green flag when the caution came out, to say the least. William Brock, though, looking to get a good restart here on Tommy Turbo to see if he can jump to a great lead. Green flag back in there. You see Turbo spin the tires that time around. You see Nick Gunther taking the initiative, going to the inside of Jeremy Jones for position. Bill Gunther slips, and that allows Jeffrey Fingai to go for the all-important 4th spot as Jeremy Jones way off the track. He's into the bushes. Let's see where he's going to merge back on the track. You see him against the outside guardrail, so he's going to have to merge back safely. Another car going off back there. Looks like Scott Roush has joined, and we've got smoke up ahead, and it is the 38 of Jonathan Rains and Kyle Matthews that have spun together. Looks like no caution on the track. Seth Cole looks like he's had issues. We'll have to look into that a bit. And the 18 getting turned around, so a lot of shenanigans going on early on in the race, and that has now brought out the yellow, and you see the field getting stacked up together, all because of that. So really a chaotic restart. A lot of cars going off the track. Gabe Williams just out of shape. William Duncan looks like he's in the same position as well. He's got to get out of there if he wants to avoid the calamity. But a caution out yet again for the 2nd time this time around. So not much of a green flag run for these drivers here. Could be a nightmare for a lot of the drivers, especially near the back half of the field. You notice Jones and Roush go off the track there. They merge safely, but looks like, watch Kyle Matthews here in the helicopter cam, just clipped the quarter panel of Jonathan Rains' machine, sending the two of them up into the hill, but no damage done to their cars. But now focusing on Gabe Williams, he's somewhere near the middle of the pack, I believe. So actually, we're going to have to zoom a bit further. He gets turned off of Kev Shear's bumper, sending the 18 for a spin, and Will Goss trying to get on the brakes there, just had no place to go, and that collects Richard Johnson in the process as well. You see there, but it's just kind of a bit chaos. Just you see Gabe Williams getting shoved around by Johnny Gardner and William Duncan going through the grass, but a lot of close calls all around and minimal damage done for a lot of these cars as well. So I think a lot of these drivers are going to be able to race it down for the next restart, but hopefully it could be a clean one. Pace car is off. William Brock continuing to lead here on the restart ever since he's taken that lead. There's been no turning back. Luis Hernandez sitting in 2nd, Turbo 3rd, Fingai up to 4th, and Bill Gunther rounding out your top 5. So the green flag is waved yet again. This time Hernandez didn't sleep that time around, and William Brock now is going to have to be on the defensive if he wants to hold off that 33 car, because Tommy Turbo also still hungry to find victory again. And William Brock, you see, slide up just a little bit there. Zachary Fitzwater putting plenty of pressure on Bill Gunther, while you see Chris Dodd getting challenged by the 27 of Joshua Sekuli. William Brock going wide. That allows Hernandez to get some space, and he's going for the race lead of the no-name backstretch, and he gets it quite easily. And Hernandez now up to the race lead, but he goes up into the hill, and here comes Brock batted again. Jeffrey Fingai, though, now looking for 3rd. Tommy Turbo has to back off the gas, and Jeffrey Fingai up to the 3rd spot. As you see, Bill Gunther still looking to see if he can make a move on Tommy Turbo for position. Fingai slips a bit, and that's going to allow Tommy Turbo to attack yet again. And now it looks like we've actually gotten a green flag lap in. Tommy Turbo looking into turn 1 with Jeffrey Fingai stuck on his outside. Fingai, though, still fighting back, though. Into the left-hander they go. Fingai still on the bottom. Turbo up top. Someone's got to give here, but nobody is willing to do that, as Tommy Turbo able to let Fingai make a mistake. And now Bill Gunther looking to attack that 14. Fitzwater looking to attack Jeff James in the picture there. And looks like that 42 car, really Jack James in that 42 car. But now Jeffrey Fingai again looking for 3rd underneath Turbo. These two have been kind of squabbling at it. Fingai actually made a mistake, and that gives Turbo plenty of breathing spaces. Bill Gunther now looking around him. Fitzwater doing the same, making contact there. Door-to-door fenders from the 14 and the 43 as the caution is out on the track, and it looks like Gabe Williams is a casualty, as well as Jack Halleck. More cars crashing on the final corner. Ian Dutta, looks like Mike Hawk in that 33, and that 3 car, and Jessica Emery, one of our playoff contenders, swept up in an accident here. That's going to be crucial for her and points, because the last race could pay dividends for the playoff contenders, especially if you have a bad result in this case today. But coming across the line, it's Luis Hernandez, though, really just taking his time. He's got a big gap over William Brock. But Tommy Turbo and all the others, they're loving to see that they had a caution so that they themselves could get caught up into this pack. So Will Goss and Richard Johnson were going off the track, and then, oh my goodness, Gabe Williams hit the ending of that retaining wall, really that barrier, and really the guardrail, and that basically gave the 18 a lot of front end damage, and that actually did not bring the caution out. So the caution came around, I would say, around Jessica Emery right around in the 13th spot, dropping back. You see everybody just scrambling in the mid-pack area, and looks like coming into the right-hander, Joey Murphy making it a 3-wide move, might have not stuck. And actually, oh man, Emery had to react to Eric Rodriguez's move, and then the 44 gets turned, and into the wall, the guardrail he goes, collecting Mike Hawk, and just innocent bystander Ian Dudd at the end, just on the brakes, just could not do much in such a blinding corner for that 32 machine. But Jessica Emery, one of our playoff contenders, that is huge for her in the points because she sits second in the point standings in terms of the playoff standings, 18 points to the good. Maybe a good cushion now, but it might not be at the end of this one. Luis Hernandez in control of the race lead, but looking at our playoff contenders, Jack James sitting in 7th, Dodd 8th, and Nick Gunther, really actually not Dodd 8th, but Gunther 8th, and then there you see Chris Dodd 9th, and then Vince Freeze, Swanberg, a couple of others not too far back in the top 15. We'll have to talk about them just a little bit later, but Luis Hernandez now leading the field down to the green flag. Watch the green light flicker, and there it is, green flag in the air. William Brock spun the tires. Tommy Turbo did not spin the tires on him, and looks like they're going to try and attack William Brock. Dylan Schwalberg, though, making a move to the inside. PJ Williams with an issue with his car, and looks like the 19's got a mechanical issue, and PJ Williams' shot could be going down the drain here today because his result was looking solid. Johnny Gardner in the guardrail. He's spinning around. He might have slipped in some fluid, and that is going to allow a lot of playoff contenders to capitalize. Vince Freeze looks like went way off. Chain reaction wreck. Car's just a mess everywhere in this stretch. And will that bring out the caution? No caution on the track. So far, a bunch of chaos on the opening lap of the restart. But everybody else, so far, so good. And Josh Zakuli getting turned off of Dylan Schwalberg. Schwalberg spins around, and the 20 car washing up into no man's land and into the whole field behind him. Schwalberg gets hit by O'Neal Baldwin and the number 10 of Charles Samper, who's also trying to come down pit lane. And Richard Johnson, nowhere to go, and O'Neal Baldwin getting turned. And Sanford on his roof, very unusual wreck, but the caution is out on the speedway, and JT Bryant with a lot of front side damage to his Ford Fusion. His race is also done, but for Dylan Schwalberg, huge championship implications. Johnny Gardner also with implications as well. So 2 playoff contenders, or really 3 of them, Emery early in the race, and now Schwallenberg and Gardner in trouble here. Those are not the results they wanted, and coming into the next race, they're gonna be in grave danger. It was just a mess of everything on this restart. Basically, like all the other restarts here at Lime Rock, PJ Williams, his car just disintegrated on him, and then watch Johnny Gardner. I think he might have just hit the dirt. Oh, actually, he just got help from behind from Jeremy Jones and Cody Lamas, and 22 ended up going into the barrier. And then watch Vince Freeze, he goes off, everybody trying to check up, and Betty Johnson got turned off of Dylan Young's bumper, sending the 83 car for a spin. And then we have to look further up on the track between Dylan Schwalberg and Joshua Sakuli. Schwalberg was making a move, trying to follow Jonathan Zorlin in line, but they just ran out of space, and Schwalberg gets into the 27, airlifting off, slamming into the grass, and then right into the 12 of JT Bryant. O'Neal Baldwin with nowhere to go, and then Charles Sanford, heavy damage to his car, and you see Sanford trying to come down pit lane. He gets turned off of Richard Johnson, who just lightly tips him upside down. And, well, that's one way to go upside down in the race, and certainly the most unusual for Charles Sanford. As for Johnny Gardner's case, he was also trying to check up for the wreck, but ran into the back of Onium Baldwin, sending him with a lot of front-end damage. Could have been an easily avoidable wreck for Johnny Gardner, but just ran into that one car, and then I think just the car losing a lot of steering, hits the pit road barrier, thus ending the day. But PJ Williams, Gardner, and Schwalberg, 3 playoff contenders, in trouble here today. And certainly not what these drivers wanted, as mentioned earlier. Really, that's really a nightmare if you're a playoff contender whatsoever. It is still Luis Hernandez leading the way over William Brock, Turbo, Finguy, and Fitzwater. That is your top 5 couple road ringers. Affiliated within that top 5 area, Nick Gunther. Running inside the top 10, Jonathan Zorlin in that 10th spot. And then you have Vince Freeze in 12th. And everybody else not too far behind. There's Duncan 22nd, Lamas 23rd, Young 24th. You see the green flag waving back in the air. Hernandez in command of the race lead, while William Brock still sitting in that 2nd spot. Finguy looking to put a nose underneath Turbo for 3rd. Looking to see if he can do something different with this car. Finguy looking very strong on the restarts here despite a horrific round of 16. Finguy's really trying to turn things around for the team here, and we could see him in that seat for next season if the Doublemint Cup Series gets enough funding for the next time. Luis Hernandez, though, still in command, making a bit of a mistake there. William Brock looking to capitalize, but Tommy Turbo's willing to do the same, as he's going to look into the right-hander. William Brock makes a mistake there, under the bridge, and it's Chris Dodd, or really Tommy Turbo, in the 2nd runner-up spot, or really the runner-up spot for him. Jeffrey Finguy's going to have to wait for an opportunity here, but William Brock put an aggressive block on Finguy. Finguy might not like that, as Fitzwater is able to close into the gap as well. So far, so good. I might have just jinxed that, but you see Duncan and others, I think they're really just trying to survive. I think that's one of their main missions. And the 47 car off into the tire barrier. That looks like Andre Baranowskis. No caution on the track there, so it might be a little bit of a sector yellow, but for Zachary Fitzwater looking for the 4th position underneath Jeffrey Finguy. Finguy having to give way here. Finguy just not able to really do much, and Brock again stumbling that time around. And here comes Turbo again to the 2nd spot. So Turbo might have made a mistake there, stumbled. Fitzwater looking to take 3rd away. Fitzwater's been flying in this race, and Nick Gunther looking to really take advantage of these drivers going at it here, trying to save his tires, and Jack James also looking to do the exact same thing. So the battle for the top 10 spots are heating up. Chris Dodd making it 3 wide into turn 1 on Vince Freeze, and Bill Gunther. Aggressive move into the corner there, a ballsy move to say the least, as they're still 3 wide, making it stick in the corner. Chris Dodd putting one daring attempt. Vince Freeze having to shove Dodd a bit out of line, but Dodd still fighting back. Bill Gunther has to yield way, but Vince Freeze manages to hold off Chris Dodd and Bill Gunther. Great defending from that 31 team. That's one way to make an impression. But now Chris Dodd looking to fight back. Jonathan Zorlin, though, continuing to march his way forward. Finguy, though, continuing to drop back because Freeze getting around him. Dodd looking to get around him. And even Bill Gunther might be able to do the same, as Chris Dodd now side by side with car number 14 down the stretch. And into turn 1, they're gonna go. Jeffrey Finguy gets earlier on the brakes to see if he can get a good exit off the corner. And Vince Freeze, though, now in a great position, running P8. That is just what this team needs if they want to keep themselves alive in the championship. While Tommy Turbo, though, is going to have to chase down one man, and that man is Luis Hernandez with 6 laps to go. Jonathan Zorlin, though, bobbing and weaving to see if he can get around Jack James for position. James makes a mistake. Zorlin looking to capitalize, looking to try and pounce. Into the inside he goes, and Jack James makes a mistake. Easy overtake by Zorlin, and that's up to P6. Chris Dodd, though, getting pressured by Jeffrey Finguy, who Finguy is willing to give a ton of pressure to anybody in this race. But Jack James looking to fight back on Jonathan Zorlin. Caution out on the racetrack, though. And we're going to have to see what happened. Might have happened in the back here. But the pace car is out. Chris Dodd way off the track. He's going to lose a lot of positions there. While the battle is on, they haven't crossed the line yet, so it's still on between them. Jack James, though, and Zorlin, Finguy, and Freeze. 2 battles, 2 rows deep. And it's Jeffrey Finga able to top off the 31 just a tad, while Jack James and Zorlin are still battling it out like a ferocious beast on the racetrack. But so far, it looks like Zorlin and James are going to keep it to themselves, while Jeffrey Fingai and Vince Freeze are willing to race each other for position. Fingai messes up, and Freeze able to take the spot away and really hold off Jeffrey Fingai for that time being. But the caution is out on the track. Could the race be over? We're going to have to wait and see, but two cars against the guardrail, Chris Dodd and Bill Gunther. So that is also costly for them, and that is really going to hurt them in the points. This was near the top 20 area, and Jeremy Jones just got loose, slid into Kyle Matthews, and poor Richard Johnson had nowhere to go. Jonathan Reigns with a great avoidance there, but a 360 spin by Jeremy Jones, and Sekuli and Young actually kind of run each other over because of that, but not much damage done. Brings out the caution, but we're looking at Chris Dodd in this scenario there. We're not sure what happened to them. It's kind of weird how they were all the way out into the guardrail. They both might have just went off. Chris Dodd really just dove it in there, dive bomb Bill Gunther, and took himself and Gunther all the way out into the infield and basically stuck in the barriers because the AI here aren't really the most intelligent, and well, that is one way to get stuck and get trapped a couple laps down just because of that. Looking at our playoff update, Gunther and Turbo, second and third. They're so far in a good points paying position. Gunther pretty high up. Dodd, or really Turbo, in a great spot as well. Jack James, seventh in the race there. He is also actually one of the few drivers underneath the cutoff line. Vince Freeze in the same as well. So they're looking for good runs here today, running in 8th. And then you have a bit ways back looking at our playoff picture. Cody Lama sitting in 19th. Just a quiet run for this 48 team. They're also one of the few drivers a bit above the cutoff line, so they're hoping for a solid effort. William Duncan sits 25th. A bit of a mediocre run for car number 6, while Chris Dodd and Bill Gunther were tree hugging for quite a moment, so they were having a little bit of a fun time there. Pace car lights are off. Hernandez, though, has a lot to lose in this race. He's certainly looking to try and prove something today, and that is to be a winner. But Tommy Turbo and Nick Gunther are hungry for a win to get them into the next round, the round of 8. Pace car is off into the pit lane in the paddock area, and the green flag's going to wave again. Great start by Tommy Turbo. You can see his car get up to the gears, but Nick Gunther looking to make a move for third, or really for second, to hold off Zachary Fitzwater, who's charging around William Bruck. And here comes Nick Gunther, now looking around Chris Dodd on the outside line in the left-hander, and now through the S's they go. Tommy Turbo hoping to hold off Nick Gunther. He goes wide, and that allows Nick Gunther to capitalize and take that runner-up spot. Fitzwater up to third, and now it's Nick Gunther's opportunity to try and take that lead away from Hernandez, while Zachary Fitzwater could also be in the catbird seat to pounce on the two of them if in case they both mess up. Through the downhill they go, and through the diving turn. Off of the final corner and down the front stretch they go. The white flag is going to wave. One more lap to go for Luis Hernandez as Nick Gunther's looking to close in on the gap between him and the 33. Into turn 1, you see Gunther just running a bit of a more narrow line on the track. Bill Gunther merging back onto the racetrack as well, but Nick Gunther closing that gap. Really good corner by the 35. But now, through the no-name straight, Zachary Fitzwater goes wide. That's his shot over, just like that. But now, the uphill sector. This could make or break Luis Hernandez. He goes wide, and here comes Nick Gunther looking to attack. Through the west bend they go, and into the bridge. Under the bridge goes the 35 and the 33, and through the downhill sector. For the final time, Luis Hernandez now smoothly sailing down the front stretch and to the start-finish line. Luis Hernandez is going to hold off Nick Gunther and win here at Lime Rock. Sensational effort for Luis Hernandez, playing as the playoff spoiler for the 33 team. RCR is going to be very happy with him. Nick Gunther's going to end up short with a second place run, but even so, a grand points day for him. If you wanted to have some ups on that, getting second I would say is great. Tommy Turbo, third in terms of playoff points. Great run for him. He was only 6 points underneath, but could be above the cutoff line with other drivers not faring so well. Vince Freeze gets a top 8 run with an 8th place finish. He was 12 points behind. He's looking to try and gain some ground as we go to the next round. Jack James, 11th for him, not the run he wanted. And then we have Cody Lama, 17th, and Duncan, 25th in the race. Or really 23rd in the race, actually, so excuse me on that. Chris Dodd, 29th after the issues. Dylan Young, 27th. Didn't fare too well for him. So, we look at the results here. Luis Hernandez wins the race. Great effort for him and everybody else, though. 1st through 28th. There it is. You can guys all look at it. And now we go through the rest of the field. 29 cars remained in the race, but 27 on the lead lap. A lot of retirees, especially near the early half of the race, that took out a lot of playoff contenders, such as Jessica Emery, Johnny Gardner, Dylan Schwalberg, and PJ Williams, to name them. Chris Dodd had issues, and a lot of them didn't really fare too well, so a lot of bad weekends or really races that these drivers are going to want to forget. But otherwise, congratulations to Luis Hernandez on the win. We'll take a look at the point standings here as we're going to head to the next round of MMM's Super Speedway, at least from what I recollect. It's been a while, and it's certainly an honor to bring the Doublemint Cup Series back on its feet here as we conclude the final round, or really the round of 12 here today.